Hell
All
yeah.
right. We were just talking about, I need the intro, but welcome back. Curiosity Cast, episode 11 here with Nikolai Bujnowski. Let's freaking
Let's
go,
go,
man. How you
baby.
doing?
I'm pumped, dude. It's
Let's
been a
go.
long time coming.
It has.
I know.
I know. We got connected back last year, last summer, fall from shout out Sean Blake,
Yes, sir.
Nitro. And
Nitro, the boy.
yeah, the boy for sure. Need to get him in the pod too. But we got connected then. You want to give a brief intro on yourself? You've been coaching O-line, you played O-line, obviously, Jersey's in the background, but I
Yes, sir.
think a lot of people watching will be interested in your background.
Yeah, of course. Grew up North Jersey boy in Verona, small town. Played high school ball at Bosco and Paramus Catholic. Went on to Virginia Tech for my first 3 years, then Boise State after that. Then I had a little stint at Kent State in Ohio, and then after
Yep.
that it was pretty downhill from there in the playing space, but then a very uphill in the coaching space. That's kind of when I knew I wanted to coach. Got immediately into coaching, but kind of it was more so just content, just like putting out stuff to help O linemen. And then actually funny enough, shout out to Nick Daniele, but he saw me at a local public school playoff game, I believe it was, and he was just asking me if I was training guys. I wasn't, and then I was like, you know what, we could train, and then it turned in from him, and then it just kind of grew rapidly. Now we have NFL, college, high school, youth kids, mainly obviously in New Jersey, but some kids travel here and there. But yeah,
Yeah.
above all, O-line performance in Jersey.
Let's freaking go, man.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, I've been there. I've seen it in person from your one-on-one sessions to group to then when you ran the O-line collective and the
yeah,
summit there in May, which was epic. So it's been
thank
cool to
you.
see. When
Yeah,
did
it's fun.
you I mean we've hung out and talked a lot, but I've
Yeah.
always found it interesting for transitioning from playing into coaching. How was that transition for you? Or how was it? Were you one of those players who was always like in the film room, kind of dissecting
Yeah.
your own offense, the defense, etc.?
Yeah. People have always asked me like how I got into coaching. I think I've always just had a knack for just like understanding playbooks and stuff. Like even though I wasn't maybe like the number one guy in the room, but everyone's sort of
Oh wait, one second. I just lost the audio for a second. Zoom this. Okay,
hello.
technical difficulty. Yep. You were
You're good.
saying
Yeah, no, I
so
was
you
just
were
saying I've always just had like a knack for coaching, I guess. People gravitated towards me for answers and stuff. Like I know you're used to like you're flying to a game, you get a test on the plane, like what the look's gonna be for that week. And I don't know, people just always have like gravitated towards me to like ask questions about how I see the game, just X's and O's of football. So I've always like been gravitated towards that. But honestly, the reason why I loved the transition from playing to coaching was very seamless, just because like I feel like I had a good game plan. I've seen so many different types of coaches that like I almost curated myself in terms of a personality and like a psychological aspect of like what I wanted people to not have or have within a coach. Like I've had terrible coaches, I've had some locked in coaches, like I've seen it all. I've had years where we won 3 games. I've had years where we went to bowl games. I've had championship years. Like I've won a Mountain West Conference championship. Like I've not done that. I've just seen it all. So I was like, okay, it's a cool mixing pot of like all these different coaches. So I feel like in terms of personality wise, I knew what I wanted to be for my athletes. Um, but then it was a little bit tough because when I started jumping into more of like the science behind of like skill acquisition and stuff, I realized that not a lot of the coaches gave me a ton of information. Unfortunately, there's like one or two that like was very like super dialed in terms of like schematics of like how we should run inside zone. What are we looking for in this front? But in terms of like individual skill set, there wasn't much to go off of. That makes sense. But um, diving into the skill acquisition space helped me out a ton with that area. But in terms of curating who I wanted to be as like a personality, I've had a ton of different looks, good and bad ones. So it kind of shaped it a lot.
so for we can dive into both of these, but
Oh.
for personality, what were your like three main traits that you will, I guess, top traits that you focused on being a
Yeah.
coach after being coached for so long?
For sure. I would say the number one thing is battling between being someone's friend and coach at the same time. Like you don't want to get overboard where you're too friendly, and then now it's like everything I say you don't really take serious because we're boys. Um, but having that connection between like who you are as an offensive lineman plus person, I think that is something that I do a good job of. Like, okay, like what does your life look like outside of the training room? Like how's your relationship with your girlfriend? How's your nutrition? Like, what are you doing after this? Like, how's everything been? And so I feel like I've battled between that all the time. And it's different too in the private coaching space world as well. It's like, because I don't see the same guys all the time. Like if I coach at a college or something. So also battling between different just personalities and not knowing what I'm going to get. Like I may meet someone for the first time ever, and I don't know like what their temperament's like, what they like outside of football. So I think just being able to be their friend, so to speak, while also being a coach. I think I would say the second trait would just probably be like more direct in the sense of like less because I've had coaches where like you mess up and it's just like yelling. Like we're just gonna yell at the kid and just like okay, like this somehow is gonna get them better. But as you know, I'm a fairly logical thinker. I'm just like okay, why did you mess up? Let's talk about it and then let's hopefully resolve it, not just like me yell at your face as if that does anything for anyone. Um, I would say that's number two. And then number three, just passion, I guess. Like I coach because I want people to be better and do better than I was as a player. Like a, a lot of coaches, I feel like, well, everyone has egos, especially in the football world. Like it's healthy to have an ego, in my opinion, to some degree. Obviously, you can overdo it, but you look at a coach that's maybe he has great playing accolades. He's a Pro Bowler or whatever the case is. I don't think people understand like he still has an ego about himself. Like a lot of these people think they can still play football. Like they have that in their brain. So when they coach you, like you don't maybe subconsciously, but like they don't want sometimes, I'm not saying all guys, but what I see is like they don't want you to be better than them. And that's just kind of like what just subconsciously what I see. But every single person I want that I coach, I want them to be better than me. And some guys are much better than me. I have NFL guys that are way better than me. So I want everyone to be better than I am. So I think the passion behind actually wanting to get people better at football is probably the third trait.
I like that. Those are all, it's interesting how that works with coaching too. And with, you often see some of the best coaches were not some of the best players. Like it's,
Yeah.
because you have
Yeah,
to learn.
I
Go ahead.
hate that argument. Like I forgot who I saw it on Instagram, but this guy was beefing with another private coach on Instagram, and the way the private coach got back at the guy that he was beefing with was to screenshot his college accolades and compare it to himself. And I'm like, do we not understand that we're coaches? Like, I'm so confused as to what your playing career has anything to do with anything. Like, if that's really the case, that means the second Tom Brady declares he's a coach, he's the best ever. And that just, you just completely dull down the actual art of coaching. It makes no sense to me how, like, your playing career, I'm not saying it makes no difference at all, because of course you need to be in the fire to learn a lot of the savvy stuff, the nuanced stuff, just how to see the game. But to say that your playing career is just determined on your coaching ability is nuts. Bill Belichick is trash at football. Like I don't even think he played football. Nick Saban, he was a safety at Kent State. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he was a safety in Kent State at like the 70s or whatever, 80s. But like they're not anything to like they're not going to brag about their playing career, but they're all-time greats. Like it's just people I don't think people really understand the actual art of coaching. I think they just think it's just I was good at football. I just spew out what I did as a player. Therefore, somehow that's going to just stick to you and then because of me being a good player, you how somehow become a good player. And it just doesn't make sense to me and I completely reject that notion.
Mm. Well, something else we've talked about, which I found interesting, is the evolution of coaching, or maybe lack
Yeah.
thereof, um, in regard to O-line play.
Hmm.
But I suppose overall football, I mean, schematics change and evolve, but it seems like technique and such remains similar.
Yeah.
What's been your experience? I know you mentioned skill acquisition as a coach, so
Yeah.
what's been your experience learning that as a player and then
Yeah.
obviously teaching it as a coach?
Right. I think technique as it's been for the years, they look at it as just O-line, meaning they don't look at ourselves as organisms slash like humans moving. They just look at it as like, okay, we're playing O-line. That's all we're going to look at it as. Mind you, like when I study skill acquisition, there's no book on skill acquisition in O-line. Like I'm not reading about like O-line specific. I'm learning about the behavioral science of just moving in general that I apply to O-line. And I think it's never evolved once. Like I can have a 5 hour podcast on this. I'll get ramped up because it's just insane to me. Like you talk to every single person, just ask them what their individual period is. Everyone's doing the same thing. Makes no sense. And then you go ask them, why does this stuff work or how does it work? And there's a lot of this is what we did in when I was it's like these aren't answers. Like you're just saying random things. Like and with that being said, it's like a lot of the stuff that people do, especially in individual period, it's its own sport. Meaning, if you get good at board drills, you're getting good at board drills. That's what you're getting better at. You're not getting better at actually blocking someone in the run game. That's just one example. You may think you are because you're doing an aesthetic version of what you're going to be doing on the field. Like you're taking a bucket step, you're taking a 6 inch step, whatever the case is, but you just completely decontextualize what you're actually doing on game day. And I just have a fundamental disagreement with a lot of it. And it's not necessarily a disagreement. It's just like they don't have anything to back up after what they're saying. Okay, board drills work. Okay, why? They don't have any real reason. It's just this is what we've been doing. And then you'd say, how do you know that? And then there's no answer. But like the stuff that we do, it's like there's actual studies that I can like pull up that people have like looked at. Like I just regurgitate what smarter people have taught me and I just apply it to O line. Like I don't it's not like my opinion. It's not like Coach Boo's just like made up perception action coupling. Like I didn't make that up. It's just like what researchers have developed in other sports, in other behavioral science fields, and I just apply it to O-line. It's not like I read a book, like I said before, and just like there is no O-line book on skill acquisition. It's not a thing. Skill acquisition is a thing, and I just apply it and use that framework into O-line. It's more so called the constraints-led approach or ecological dynamics.
Good old CLA, dude. I've
Yeah.
heard a little bit about this now.
Yeah.
I find, a lot of coaches, we both know a lot of coaches want their players to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is, and the cool thing is about we're both private coaches, so we have the flexibility and freedom to do what we want. But
Mhm.
something with coaches on teams, I often think about when I coached football too, was the higher up coaches, you've got to get the okay to kind of do something different. And then this
Right.
practice script, everyone's got their drills. And O-line, you're in the corner, you're in the end zone. Most of the time the coaches aren't paying attention.
Right.
But sometimes it seems like, maybe the coaches even want to try something different. But if they're young and they're not super trusted,
Yeah.
it's tough to do that. So I
Right.
feel like it's cool for you to be able to kind of break through that a little bit
Yeah.
where then people can reference to somebody else. Because if it's the first mover effect, for business or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's sometimes tough to be that first guy who's like, hey, let's do a
Yeah.
completely different drill, even
Right.
though the Steelers go line coach is doing duck walk board
Right.
drill. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, there could be a better way. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I always say I'm just trying to change the norm. Like I'll be a villain if I need to be until I'm not. Like I don't care if no one likes me in the O-line space for the next 10 years. But at some point I want people to look and be like, "Wait, this guy may be onto something," and then just do the research for themselves. Like it's so simple. Like when you actually look at the research, it's almost like it's just a yes or no. Like I don't again, it's not like arbitrary what I'm saying. It's like I'm reading it, there's a study to back it up. What's the alternative? We're gonna go back to board drills, but there's no research, there's no reasoning, there's no why of why we're doing it. It's like the same thing you do. Like you read just about like chemistry or something and like how this food when it reacts to this, it creates this. Well, I'm not as smart as you with this, but like there's a science behind what we're actually doing. So like, and you look at yourself like, how are people doing it the other way? Like they're just not reading the fine print of like what's actually happening. And then once you read it, like I spoke to Rob Gray. He's kind of like I don't know how to describe him. I guess you could say the pioneer of bringing CLA to America, I think. I don't know if that's a good way, but he's written a lot of the books that I've learned from. And we had a meeting and I was like, Rob, you like messed me up bad because I can't see it anywhere else now. Like once you learn CLA, it's like everything you kind of see is just like you're judging it hard. And that's just the reality of it. Like even in other sports, like when I see a basketball coach while I'm waiting for a session, have a guy dribble in front of a chair and he's doing like a tween between a chair and he's like doing a step back. I'm just like, that's you're doing nothing. Like you're precisely doing nothing. So um he's just kind of messed me up in that way. Like I just see it one way. It's like the what's that thing? The black and blue dress and the gold and white dress.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
illusion. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, once you see it black and blue, like that's it. It's just black and blue. The guys that say white and gold, you just think they're nuts. And I'm just like, it's kind of the same way. I'll see a, a video of a team doing even the highest level teams, the Jets, the Jaguars. They do this drill, and then it's like, like why? Like you, makes no sense. And yeah, it's just frustrating. But that's kind of where it all kind of stemmed from.
Interesting. Interesting. So then I'm interested as well for you
Yeah.
after football, you transition into then owning your own business. How was that? Because that's completely, I mean, obviously you're teaching O-line, you're studying O-line, but then owning your own business is like a completely different aspect of this
Yeah.
that I don't think a lot of people realize. A lot of people
Yeah.
aspire to do.
Yeah.
So walk me through kind of how that process began, and obviously it's awesome now.
Yeah, thank you. It's definitely a challenge for sure. I think people from the outside in just assume that it's like, oh, I just like started to train people. This guy told him to come to Coach Booge, and then it just like sparked off that way. Like it's long hours, it's early mornings, it's late nights, like. But also with that being said, I knew I wanted to attack it full speed, and I think the only way I knew how to, maybe for the better or for the worse, was like with this. Like I'm on it 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Like maybe it's not the healthiest, but like I could take 30 minutes out of my day to try to make myself more relevant than I am now. And like Hormozy always said, I love everything Hormozy, most of what Hormozy says, but everyone's fighting the battle of irrelevancy. Like no one knows who you are. So if I can somehow, some way try to make myself more relevant in the most ethical and great intention way possible, then I can help build the business. So, but actually building the business and actually, taking the time to have it scale, yeah, it's not easy. It's something to juggle for sure because I'm a business owner plus a coach. I'm not. It's not integrated. Like you have to be able to put on both hats. Um, so yeah, it's a long process, but yeah, I think people don't see that. They just see a social media page. They say, "Oh, this kid just blew up," and then that's about it. Like, no, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people A aren't willing to do, and that B they don't see. But yeah, it's fun though. I like running a business. Always knew I was going to. Um, I actually had a business in eighth grade, a little clothing brand called Above All. Fun fact.
What?
It wasn't
Let's
it
go.
wasn't actually the old line. Like I actually the the clothing brand I had in eighth grade was the name for the business today. So I've always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to know I wanted to own a business. So, but yeah, it's fun. It's definitely difficult, but it's a good difficult. I don't want to really do anything else. So it's fun.
I'm the same way. So after ball, most people, right, would be like, oh, I'm gonna get a corporate job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work, and then I'm gonna once I'm, once I feel comfortable, then I'm gonna start my business. How did
Yeah.
you, what made you just be like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna start it now?
That I don't want to do a corporate job.
Yep.
Nope, like not at all. Like that is what motivated me. And the younger you are, the easier everything's going to be. Meaning it only gets harder from here. Like my life only gets more busier when I become 25, 26, 27, 28. Like it doesn't, I'm not going to just like randomly wake up as a 27-year-old and be like, oh my God, I have so much time on my hand. Like, no, you had time when you were 23. It's like, you know what? It's either yes or no. Like it's really not a binary thing or it's not really like a gray area thing. It's just very binary for me. It's like I start it, I gotta keep going. Like there's nothing to it, and there's nothing to it but to do it. Like it's just go out like and just attack. Because I knew when I'm 26, 27, 28, like I'm not gonna just randomly get more time. Like if anything, I just get more busy. And then once I'm in my 30s and I have kids, a family, like life only gets harder. Like so I was just like, I have to attack it now or else it's now or never. And I think a lot of the people around me influence that. Like you talk to a lot of people, yeah, dude, I'm gonna start my fitness page, but like I'm only gonna post on TikTok because I don't want to. And I'm like, brother, you're like, you don't actually want to do this. You just want to go viral and like that's all you're in it for. You don't really want to provide value to anyone. It's just more so like what like it's just what feels and sounds good to you. And once I kind of like examine the field, I'm like, it's fairly easy to beat people because like people kind of stop after like 2 days. Especially in the business world, like they realize they post one video, it gets 10 views, and they're like, all right, I'm done. This isn't for me. I'm like, all right, cool. More for me. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great points off of that. I mean, with the viewpoint. and such, I think people oftentimes will always correlate views, followers, likes with business. And
Mhm.
those are important, but it's also, I think you can build a quality business without having that initially. I think people think, man, I need 20,000 followers to have a good business. It's like
You, you.
yeah, I have a smaller following, but things are going great because luckily people, once people follow me or are interested, then they typically want to work together or I want to
No,
help
I
them.
push back on that. I think you provide value. I
No,
think
I
that's,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
no. I think that's all it is. Not all it is. You do everything. Oh, you do a lot of great things, but you provide value. And I think again, in terms of business talk now, I don't want to get too businessy, but, or unless you want
We
to, it
can talk
doesn't
about
matter to
whatever we
me.
want, man.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah. But
rules here.
meaning like, I think people try to find like the next sentence to like close a rejection, or like they try to find this like the next thing to like find this deal, but they like forget that like once you actually fine, you close a deal, great. What's the value you provide? Like you do realize you have a service, a product. There's something you have to get delivered to someone. And then if that doesn't have any value, you don't have anything. The guy's gonna buy it, he's gonna be pissed off, and then he's never gonna see you again. And not only is that gonna trickle to the next person he talks to, but you don't have any lifetime value to that guy. Like if I had a shitty class, yeah, I can close you for a package deal. But if you don't enjoy your time or you feel like you're not learning anything, what are we talking about? You don't have a business. There's no, and I think people forget that. They just watch a TikTok of how this guy closed a rejection. Great. You closed his rejection. You got him to sign up. What's the value? Every great business has great value. McDonald's popped up in my head, so I'm gonna make you a little bit upset right now. But like their
It's
French
okay.
fries are gas. Like that's just what it is. They don't
Yep.
need to show me the golden arches for me for me to eat that fry and be like, wow, this is good. Like you can admit, Jack, they're pretty good, right?
I haven't had them in a long time, man. I think the
But
last
they're
time I had them, I threw up.
like, but you like my point being is like millions of people find it to be very good. So it's just the value they provide is great, and that's why they're never going to go out of business. Now, I
True.
think people are a little bit uneducated on the food side. You can handle that one, but
Hey,
like,
that's why I'm here.
right, yeah, exactly. But like, my point being is there's got to be value, and I think you do a great job at providing value when you speak to guys about nutrition, your knowledge, and then the actual execution on what's happening to these people. They lose weight, they feel better, their thyroid's bumping. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the good stuff. So I think I wanted to push back on that because again, I think it's the value that you provide, not necessarily. Yes, people miss out. Like, you don't need all these views and stuff. I just think you need to attract the right person
Yeah.
rather than have 30,000 followers. I don't think it's all about that, but obviously having
It
a lot of
helps,
attention helps.
obviously.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not against having a following.
Right, right,
It's
right, right.
just I guess it happens at your own pace. But you've
Yeah.
done, I mean, it's I like watching your stuff because obviously value. You're showing new drills and stuff all the time. So
Yeah.
people are always like, oh, sh like I always view it as like if somebody sees something free, takes it, tries it, improves from it, then they're like, all right, what else does this guy do for paid? Like there's got to be there's got to be more out there. So I think that's a huge thing. Whenever I see your posts, a lot of
Thank you.
it's like just a little bit different tweak of an O-line drill or
Yeah.
something completely different, blows up. And I'm sure a lot of people try it and then are
Yeah.
probably like, oh shoot, this is pretty freaking good.
Yeah. Yeah, we've luckily we've had some coaches reach out to me and say, "Hey, dude, like the live stuff, the live reps, the games, they work. Like, I just want people to shift their mindset. I just want people to get on this train." So, but going back to that like free stuff. All right, what does this guy actually do? That's the Gary Vaynerchuk. It's the jab, 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 right hook. Like
Oh, is
you
that what he
give,
talks about?
yeah, yeah. His he actually, I don't know if I have it, but the book is called Jab, 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 Right Hook, meaning the jabs are the free stuff. It's value, 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 and then the right hook is like, hey, pay for my book that I just wrote or whatever. Because I think if they see paid stuff immediately, like they're not gonna really just buy in. But like if Jack Clank has 3 free Instagram reels talking about why your thyroid or metabolism is a little bit low, and maybe here's some habits you can change to elevate those things. Like Jack didn't have to do that. Like you're just providing free value. You jab, 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 and then the right hook is like, hey, if you need coaching, I'm here. Right. So that's kind of the principle. So yeah, I thought you got it from him, honestly. I was like, okay, cool.
No.
Yeah.
I don't I've I don't read a bunch of the business books to be honest. I've tried.
Oh, I don't either. I
Um
just watch videos.
or I just I just watch Ray Pete
Yeah.
and Mind Unveiled and other
Right.
interesting people on YouTube. But no,
Right.
it's good. That's why it's helpful to talk with you and other people who are really sharp about it because it's I always think I'm like I'd rather improve my coaching ability,
Hmm.
my like craft, and then hopefully, which is kind of what I relied on so far, is like hopefully my coaching craft helps people, those people tell other people, they
Yep.
come in. And that's been, but now I'm eventually trying to work more on the media side, but that's always a work in progress. So um
All of it is. It's not like I'm gonna look at myself in 3 years as a coach and be like, yeah, Coach Booz 3 years ago was terrible. Like I looked at myself last year, I was like, I'm terrible at coaching. I try to like archive some of the old videos. Like, what are we even doing? Like I look at it, I'm like, Jesus, like how did I even show up to work that day and have my athletes do that? Like compared to now. So I always want to like be evolving where I look back at myself and go, wow, like I was terrible. But in a good way, meaning I just got smarter, more knowledgeable, whatever the case is.
oh, absolutely. I've
Yeah.
told some people things looking back that I'm like, oh, like that wasn't the right thing. And then you say, oh, then they're like, why did you change that? I thought I could do this. An
Right.
example would be eating Halo Top ice cream way back in the day. And now if somebody did that, I'd be like, no. And then like, wait, you said I could do this last year. Like
Right.
I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Right.
So it's
Obviously,
funny how
we
that works.
I want to segue it into you a little bit because I know
Sure.
obviously we've spoke, but like how so I know we're kind of doing the same thing, but just in different niches, meaning like you kind of saw how the nutrition space was. You were like, something's off here. You
Mhm.
kind of deviated, and then you see it the way you see it, and there's science to back it, and there's whatever the case may be. Like, how did you initially like what kind of sparked your questioning or skepticism around the nutrition space?
Ooh, the questioning or the skepticism, that's a good question. So I got interested in nutrition dating back to high school when I had to gain weight, but I wasn't really questioning things. I suppose I was just learning from YouTube and
Yeah.
books. And then true questioning probably took place a few years after. I
Hmm.
lost weight and I still didn't really feel that good. And that was when I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Um, so I was always kind of questioning things like during football, right after a bowl game one year, I was like 305, 310.
Yeah.
I was a little thick for being 6'3", so I was like, let me cut down a little bit. So I did keto and that was interesting, just trying stuff out. You know, I was always kind of asking my dietitian, my nutritionist for the team questions. Because I'd always be meal prepping. I'd always be making my own food. I came in as a walk-on like yourself. So I was meal prepping myself. You know, all the guys would be getting food. And initially I was just cooking it all. So now I was always kind of just I was questioning, but I would always eat the supplements. I would always have all the stuff that we always had. And then I would say, you know, the big inflection point was last September when I really completely, that was probably the biggest pivot point for health. I worked with a bunch of coaches the few years because I lost weight. So 2022, by May, I was like 225. So I was lost 80 pounds in whatever 6 months. And that's when I started helping people for free. But the next few years, really until 2025 of September, I was somebody calorie tracking, protein, training, cardio, a lot of the same core principles, vertical diet from Stan Efferding. Wasn't like anti-carb or really any of that, but I just didn't understand so many nuances behind nutrition, behind the additives, behind metabolism, behind so many core fundamentals that uh, really were behind the X's and O's of macros. And then
Yeah.
when I got really sick, I was living in Florida last year and just, man, I was working with a coach to try to improve some. I had mold issues and heavy metal issues and a bunch of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And and then I started working with Coach Kate Deering, and I was super sick in Florida. I got my blood work, and she's like, "Do you realize you have a thyroid is completely not working, and like a bunch of other whatever issues are going on?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of realized like I had health issues, but I didn't realize these would be causing them because I just, went to the hospital a few times last year, couldn't get any answers. My EKGs and heart scans were looking weird, and I had full body MRIs, and so I just wasn't able to get healthy,
Yeah.
and I couldn't figure out why. I was putting all my effort in, all my money into it, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, that doesn't make any sense. So I took a step back, was living in Florida, had to move back to New York with my family, and that
Yeah.
was like eating some humble pie. And then from there, I just dedicated a few months of really just learning.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of converted my viewpoint or just evolved it. It's always evolving and try not to get stuck in what I think. So that was really how it all changed for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because now you're Mr. Thyroid. Your thyroid is bumping.
Thyroid is bumping. I'm
Yeah.
sweating right now.
I
Um,
mean, I don't know if it's the coffee or I can't be my thyroid. My thyroid's not on your level yet. I'm hoping soon
yeah,
though.
we'll get you there.
Yeah,
I was
hopefully.
thinking about you yesterday because we've been talking about ways to cool down the bed for sleeping.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, like you'll be good. Obviously there's one of the pads we were looking at. I think there's three
Yeah.
options and then AC unit, all that. I'm here in New Mexico right now. No AC unit. Yesterday was over 100, so I went go to bed last night. I'm
Good
like,
luck.
I was sweating. Woke up a few times to go to the bathroom. I think I like sweat out like 5 pounds last night. It was
Dude,
hilarious.
I don't know how you do that. That's not, that can't be healthy.
I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. It's
Waking
dark,
up
I
though,
got
you're messing up the REM sleep.
yeah, a little bit. It wasn't perfect, but you know what?
Yeah. Happens.
Most nights I sleep very, very deeply. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's good.
that's something that people that was part of the health thing for me, waking up health wise. I used to
Yeah.
always run off like 5, 6 hours of sleep just
Right.
forever. It was always
Yeah.
midnight to 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. kind of guy.
It's rough.
And then improving the sleep, game changer. I
Yeah.
sound like a lame person because I was always
Yeah.
like, oh, sleep, whatever. Like I'm
Right.
just drinking my coffee. Yesterday I
Right.
had less than a cup of coffee too. Barely drinking any coffee, felt good. So
Really. You
yeah,
usually have what, like a pot a day?
I used to, not anymore. Since I've been traveling the past like month. It's
But
not
ideally, if
feasible.
you could just sit with a pot of coffee, you'll down it pretty easily.
I don't know if I really need it, to be honest.
Yeah, fair
Like
enough.
I like the taste of it. Don't get me wrong. I just got new coffee grinds
Ooh.
from like this local place. Light roast tastes
Yeah.
amazing.
Right,
And
right.
so I love the flavor of it, but that might be a future business. Coffee
Dude.
industry, man.
Dude, I was just thinking about that. I forget who I was seeing on Instagram, but I was like, maybe come out with a line of like coffee grounds, like kind of sick. But like you
Dude,
play off like the thyroid, maybe
I
I
mean
don't
it
know.
does the caffeine and you can use caffeine, aspirin, progesterone, a lot of things other than using thyroid hormone, and it can boost your thyroid function. So I
Yeah,
was just talking to Kate about that. Uh, yesterday, the day before. Interesting how that goes. Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, man. What about
That's
you? For you, we've been working together since like a while now, last
yeah,
September, and you're down like 40 pounds.
yeah,
How's
dude.
that been? Like, how's that been
Pretty good.
friction feeling, man?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think the main thing, I don't just mean to sound corny, is just the confidence side of it. Just being able to like walk around and be like, okay, I'm more in shape. Because it's weird, like you don't understand how not in shape you are, especially as being a former O lineman after the fact you lose weight. Like, because it's also weird too. Like when you're over 300 pounds, like I'm fit still. Like I'm
Yeah.
able to like move around. Like you're not like a slug. Like you're not like a regular 300 pound, just regular person. Like you're conditioning, you're lifting. So like at the time, you're kind of like, okay, like I'm heavy, but I'm still healthy. And then you lose the 40 and then you look at yourself and like, what the heck? Like that, I look like a completely different person. I kind of like if I'm on like my phone or something, I see like a memory pop up. I don't even like look, I don't even look at it. People like Will or someone will try to show me a video of myself when I was at Virginia Tech. I don't look because I'm like, dog, that's not even me. Like I was just like, it's insane, but it's cool to see. Like, and like you said, it helps in all areas, like just business wise, yourself. Just being healthy is allowing me to like just up my game, especially business wise. But again, it's just a confidence mind. You can just walk around with a little bit more of a proud chest, I guess you can say, because you don't, whether people like it or not, you're a D1 football player. Like you ride on that wave for a little while. Like yeah, I play football, kind of like you kind of, you
Hmm.
know, get your
So,
chest a little bit proud. But like once that's kind of stripped from you, you can't really say that. It's like, why are you 300 pounds? Like that's just my mind. I'm like, yeah. Like I think it's the best excuse to be that weight. Maybe I'm biased because I was an O lineman, but like at the same time, you don't really have that anymore. That's in your past. So in my head, I'm like, I want to be healthy so that like I can see like my kids grow up and like have a healthy family, healthy relationship, all that stuff. So it's cool to see. But I would say the confidence side of it definitely changed. Because even when I was 300, it wasn't like I was doing anything crazy except for like eating excess calories. Like I was sleeping well. I took care of like everything outside of the food, um, was pretty dialed in ish to the best of my ability. I didn't really like no drugs or anything. So,
Yeah.
it was just the excess weight, excess energy on my body. So, um, yeah,
I, and something that stood out earlier, what you said, was the busyness, starting a business. Oh, well, I'm never going to be, I'm always going to be busier the older you get. And I think
yeah,
that's really goes hand in hand with weight loss for people too. People
yep,
always are like, you know what? And then when things clear up in a year or this and that, and it's like, it's never, I mean, unless you intentionally set aside a season of life to slow down,
never
which
gonna
I
happen
think,
though.
yeah, like what that,
Like
I'm doing
literally
that, but
won't
it's rare.
happen. I don't even want to keep that door open because that's not even gonna happen
Yeah, it's like, man, you've got,
ever.
and it's really, you're extremely busy and you lost 40 pounds and you're doing great. And it's really, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not overly complicated. Like it's really, you stay active, meaning step count, ideally 10 to 15,000 plus, which you're doing coaching, 4 to 6 meals a day, higher carbohydrate, moderate protein, lower fat. You can kind of adjust the carb intake depending on your training.
Mhm.
Ideally weights or exercise 3 to 5 times a week, like you're doing
Yeah,
weights, jujitsu, you know, avoiding eating the PUFAs, the poor foods that are very inflammatory that lead you to be waterlogged
yeah,
and inflamed and bloated. And then from there, sleeping. And if
yeah.
you cover those basics, I think another aspect too, and then I'll let you go, is you have to identify with your future self. Because if you
Yes.
always identify with who you were, everyone's going to identify, like, people don't realize who you are until you've completely changed.
Hmm.
And then after a few months, or instead of everyone be like, oh, you lost weight, then that's the new you. But I think you've got to really visualize that, become that, and then have the next goal after that. Because if the goal is just to lose weight, then the goal is always going to be lose weight. So you're always going to gain weight to lose weight. So then it's kind of like creating that new
Yeah.
goal. But I don't know, that's my opinion on how it's not as complicated as people think.
No, yeah, it's simple, not easy. Like
Exactly.
yeah, it's like we don't it's not like we bought a different like magical food that we eat and then we just somehow lose weight. Like it's just how it's structured, when you're eating, what you're eating, and then just execute the plan. That's a great thing about like your program as well, because I've worked with other nutritionists before, and like we mentioned, like guys are giving me like the grams of each macro to eat each meal. I'm like, thanks, dude, appreciate it. Like I'm looking at this sheet, I'm going, how do I even curate a meal? 37 grams of fat. I'm like, how do I know what that was actually a high number. 8 grams of fat for your first meal.
There you go.
Like, okay, how do I get that? Like, you're not even telling me that. So with your plan, it's easy. It's like, okay, 12 ounces of orange juice. Just put it on the scale.
Boom.
Pink. Boom. Like it's pretty easy. So, um, that's the nice thing too. Is you just have to execute the plan. But I also think too with weight loss, I think like we were talking about, environment is so underrated. Like who you're around and what their lifestyle's like and how they want to live. You can genuinely get caught into like a hole, like in just in terms of like who you're listening to, what they're doing, what they're eating. So it's one of those things that like who you surround yourself with on the weight loss journey is great. And I think being distracted in a positive way is also great. Like if I didn't have work, if I didn't have someone to hang out with, if I just sit around my house, I'm gonna be 300 pounds my whole life. Like I just sit around, eat some food. Oh, this is healthy. I'll just eat this, and then it turns into this, and then it's like you just in this like rat race. So I think environment's massive as well. But like we were saying, like it's simple, not easy. Just hit the basics. I think that's what also pisses me off about a lot of people nowadays with all these peptide usage and like I've had parents come up to me asking if peptides are good for their athlete, for their son. I'm like, does he even sleep 8 hours? Like, what are we talking about peptides for? The guy was just up at 3 a.m. playing Call of Duty, and now you want to inject a peptide? Like, you don't even have the foundations correct, and you want to just stick a needle in them. It's insane. So I don't know. Yeah, it's simple, not easy, and but again, it's easy to beat people. Like people don't want to sleep 8 hours, and if you do, you'll just get a leg up. So I mean, I don't know, just more for me.
Yeah, it's a lot of it, especially, well, there's different aspects, but really in life, it's about compounding. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying about, business is compounding and you're going to continue to put out content for years and just grows, or you got to continue to provide value and it grows. And for football and for athletes, I mean, and for anybody, peptides are a really popular thing. Now, I don't think people consider the fact that not many people like injecting themselves for long periods of time.
Yeah,
So, like,
it's a
you
problem.
can, like, what is the, what's the likelihood of you continually using this
Right,
year after year,
right.
injecting yourself? Because I've injected myself. It's not fun. Like, I don't enjoy that. I would rather
Yeah, no
not
way.
do that. So I
Yeah,
rarely ever like, I
right.
used to, I used to use HCG for like restarting testosterone, right? And that was, I think, subcutaneous twice a week. And it's like a pain in the ass. Like I don't want to, I
Inject.
don't want to
Yeah,
have to inject anything. So, and especially for young athletes, like you said, there's a lot of basics that you can cover. It's a little different maybe if somebody's recovering from catastrophic injury and
yeah,
they got surgery, so they're used to it. But a lot of times you're going to use, if you can't just weigh out your food and track your food, what's the likelihood you're going to measure the correct amount of a peptide? You know, you mix it all together,
right,
inject it
right, right.
properly. Like that seems like a
Lot.
very unlikely consistent routine,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is, but they're gaining a lot of popularity. I'm surprised. I've
yeah.
heard
It's
high
yeah,
school guys ask me too about it, and their parents trying to give it to them.
but it's just nuts though. Like I don't know. Like I just when I hear that, I'm just like, you just want a shortcut. Like that, like that's you if you ask me like what about peptides, maybe you're just curious, it's a little bit different. But if you're genuinely asking me about like what peptides to take, I don't even hear what peptide you want to take. I just hear shortcut. Like the word shortcut just pops up in my brain. Because A, you're not understanding the possible repercussions. You're not understanding the longevity of you needing to do this, right? You're not going to inject Retta for 2 days and be like, all right, I'm done. Like that's not going to happen, right? And like you were saying, do you want to inject yourself over a course of time? Like, you're not even looking at, and you just sleep, eat, and hydrate better, and your life will just completely do a 180. Like why? And it's just all natural stuff. Like I don't know. It's just insane. I always tell my guys like, A, it's easy to beat people, and B, if you want to be exceptional, you have to be an exception. Like you can't do what everyone else is doing. Like you sleeping for 9 hours, like you should brag about that. Like that should be something that you want to tell people. It's not cool to say that you were up at 2 a.m. Me and the homies were playing 2K and I'm running off of 4 hours of sleep. Like what? Like it just doesn't add up to me. So I think like I always tell them the stuff that's boring, the stuff that's like doesn't seem fun and exciting, you can get ahead of a lot of people because they're just not doing it. They're not doing it at all. Like no one, I can guarantee you, and I probably my guys as well. There's no one that covers all their windows when they go to sleep. I doubt it. If I ask most guys, I don't think they blocked out all light in their room before they go to
Mm.
sleep. Like little stuff like that. Like how cold is your room? Like it's just little stuff like that that guys just aren't doing. But it's just like that stuff actually helps, not like you injecting BPC 157. So yeah, it's just
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
it's a very nuanced. I think it's a very nuanced discussion for most
Yeah.
people, and a lot of people like to think, should I do this? Yes or no? And it's like, well, did you just tear your Achilles? That's a difference. Did
Right,
you
right.
just come back from a torn labrum?
Yeah,
Or do you have a sore ankle and you're sleeping 5 hours a night? It's like
yeah.
there's different scenarios
There's levels.
where absolutely there's levels to it. And I've tried BBC, it didn't even help
Yeah,
me. So I think, it depends on the use case, but
right.
it's interesting, man. It really is. So how do you how do you see nutrition for the high school, college guys? Because I remember when I was in high school, college, I just ate whatever.
Hmm.
What do you kind of see with the guys you work with and what they
Yeah.
talk about? Because you're pretty knowledgeable about nutrition and all of recovery stuff too. So I'm interested in
I'm
kind of
I'm trying to
what
be
they
a
ask you.
I'm trying to be a Jack Clink Jr., dude. I'm trying to learn, bro, because it's fun. But and it all because it affects my guys as well.
Of
It's
course.
not like it's just me specifically. Like it affects everyone. And to your point, I don't again, I think it's all terrible. Like the same way how I look at most individual periods is how I look at nutrition and how guys attack it. It's pretty just god awful. Because again, a lot of it's just regurgitated and no one actually does the research for themselves, meaning like everyone's going to take fish oil, everyone's taking a multivitamin, everyone's doing this, that, and it's just regurgitated the same information. It's like me hearing we're going to do board drills, med ball pass, and all that. Like it's just the same thing to me. That's why I was saying before, like we kind of do the same thing, just different niches. But to answer your question, I think it's pretty misinformed. And I think, especially when I was in college, like looking back at the college days, like, why am I getting catered Buffalo Wild Wings right after a practice? Like, we would get full Domino's pizzas.
Oh yeah.
Like, it would just be stacked on the table. You just grab a pizza.
Yep.
And in my head, I'm like, didn't we not just have a PowerPoint saying that we need a steak, a vegetable, and a carb? And now we're just like, this whole pizza maybe has 20 grams of protein,
Yeah,
about
right.
40 grams of fat, and then about 200 grams of carbs for the whole pizza. And I'm just going to house this in about 10 minutes, go home, and then order something off DoorDash. So it's like, it's just, and that's just a reality of college football, especially. High school's a little bit different. I think high school for most guys is actually better because they're at home with their
Yeah.
parents, they're
Home cooked
cooking
meals.
food. Yeah, so it's a little bit better. But yeah, college is pretty bad. They just, I don't know, they don't really understand much. And I think especially as a big guy, oh, yeah.
Boom.
Oh. So yeah, like I was saying, it's just I think high school is a little bit better just because again they get home cooked meals. But yeah, college is just it's one of those things just rough. Like they don't understand nutrition whatsoever, what they're putting into their body. Um, and I wish I knew. Like I wish I had someone like you tell me or something. Like for example, Steve Lazama, like him getting on your program right now is massive for him. Like he just deviated immediately just from that whole traditional nutrition side, and now he's working with you. It's like I wish I had that. I didn't have that. Like it's just here's Domino's, here's some random panini from across the street that we got catered or so yeah, it's frustrating. But and I think that's what I was gonna say. Like bigger guys, I think there's an inclination to feel like you need to fuel as much as you are, meaning like you're 305, people think you need to eat like 10,000 calories for you to be sufficiently fueled. Not at all. Like people think it's like 1 gram a pound or 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. It's like you don't need to eat 310 grams of protein every single day. Like you don't. I don't care if I'm wrong or if I'm right or wrong. Like I just don't think you need to do that on a daily basis. I think there's a baseline you need to cover and that's about it. And I think people get so caught up into this like the general rules of nutrition that have been spread. But I think people overfuel, they overeat calories, and then it turns into, stored body fat, whatever the case may be. So yeah, overall
Yeah,
bad.
for sure. I mean, there's definitely we both played college, so we both kind of saw it from firsthand. Especially when you have a team of over 100 people, and you have typically one maybe full-time person to help with nutrition and maybe a few interns. And most of the time, they're just trying to make sure food's available, let alone help you with like a meal plan or something like that. So, you know, they're very much understaffed. But in college, a few basic things that people can do, which I always help my college or pro guys do, is increase meal frequency. I think
Yep.
that's a huge thing, is people try to have, train fasted. That's typically what guys do. Maybe a little bit of fruit or something. Obviously, if you're doing a 5 a.m. training, you're not gonna have a ton of food. But if you're training at like 8 to 10 a.m., you can get some solid food in. And having meals, pre, post, and then like a lunch, dinner, night snack, 4 to 6 meals is a massive thing. And then, like you said, not overloading it. Like every meal doesn't have to be like you're going to the chair. It's like my
Yeah, yeah.
my
Right, right.
like my papa used to say, Fred Klink, he used to say, he's like the bar's not going to run out of beer. Like they're going to have it tomorrow. Like
Right,
he's
right,
like,
right.
they're not the restaurant's not going to run out of food. Like the grocery store is not going to run out of food. Like you don't have to eat it all right
Yeah.
now. And I think that's a massive thing to remember. And also digestion. I mean, so many guys I talk to who are big dudes, over 300 pounds, probably eating 4,000 to 6,000 calories a day on average in that weight range. Bloating's a big thing too.
Yeah.
So when you improve your food quality, when you reduce a lot of those food additives, you can feel a lot better. You can feel a lot less bloated. And guess what? Then you play better football.
Yeah,
Because if you're
exactly.
bloated and you feel like shit, getting in your stance, getting out of your stance, it's not a fun time. You
Right.
kind of feel lethargic. So if you rather have a bounce in your step at 300
Yeah.
pounds, when you got a bounce in your step, you're like, oh, I feel good today.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the goal.
And yeah, a couple things to that too, though. Like you could be eating 6,000 and then you have one night with your buddies, you have a pint and Ben and Jerry's, and now that turns into 68.50 real quick.
Hmm.
And people don't understand that. Like your 6,000, 5,000 calorie day turns into 6,000, 7,000, like
Hmm.
that.
Oh yeah.
And the digestion part, you don't understand your, well, you don't even understand your digestion is trash until after the fact. Like me and Steve were talking about it. He's like, bro, I've never felt not bloated before. He's like, I feel great. But he's like, but like in my head, I'm like, you didn't know you were bloated this whole time. You just thought that was normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's one of those things like you find out after the fact, and I wish people understood just this nutrition side of it more, especially with a barbaric sport like football, when it's like contact stuff. You're starting to deal with like different like brain injuries and like how to be able to fuel all that stuff. Because again, I think in terms of performance, especially in other sports, like, and it's also tough too. It's hard to say, like, especially in grappling sports, a lot of guys eat pretty shitty. Like GSP was pretty notorious for eating pretty trash. He was still very good at his sport. Like, so I like it does play a role.
of course you
Um,
can be a great athlete and eat like shit.
of course, like there's a
Yeah,
lot of things that happen like that. But I think when you're messing around with brain damage and you're super overweight, like I think you need to be a little bit more dialed in. It's just I think that's just my opinion. Like I don't think you should be playing around with that stuff. Again, you're banging bones, you're banging your head. Like you need to be adequately fueled. And you need to be able to hopefully combat some of the injuries that could be happening that are potentially lifelong. So that's where I think nutrition really plays a role. Not even necessarily on field because it helps on field totally, but just thinking about like longevity. Like when I'm 35 and I was 310 pounds for the last 12 years, like how can I make sure I set myself up for longevity, not necessarily just the on-field portion?
absolutely. And that's where it comes, that's the quality.
Yeah,
You know, when you really reduce inflammation and stuff, obviously helps on the field, but post career, you know, a lot of guys struggle with arthritis too. That's a
yeah,
huge thing, you know, and I'm there with shoulders and hips and such. And having really quality food and low inflammation, you feel so much better. You know, I'm 27, about to be 28 next month, and I feel better than I did when I was 21. And
right.
I like my full body MRI would say I'm in worse condition physically,
Yeah,
injury wise, but I feel much better
right,
because food quality is there. So I think that's again a massive portion. And then for brain injury, you know, I find this fascinating because this is really what I dove into in undergrad a lot. And there's some things that people don't realize. And I've had some guys who played in the NFL or do play, and they said after training camp practices, you know, immediately CO2 masks. I was talking about, hey, we need to do baking soda, bag breathing. And that's a big thing is getting in CO2 right after brain injury, reducing your swelling. You can use hormones that aren't banned, like progesterone,
yeah,
right onto your gums. And I've got MMA fighters and stuff who I help with because you don't, that brain injury is a massive portion, like you're saying. And I think that's probably one of the roughest parts that
yeah,
people don't talk about often. It used to be a big conversation point, and then I guess it kind of faded away. I don't
yeah,
know how that happened, but I remember during my career too, probably my third or fourth year, I remember like I could tell my brain took a lot of hits. Like I don't know how to
yeah,
describe it. I don't know if you've ever
right.
been there, but like I
Yeah,
just
of
could feel
course.
I was not as sharp, especially during the
Yeah.
season. I was like, man, I feel like cobwebs are
Yeah,
in the
dude,
brain.
it's rough. But yeah,
Yeah.
people don't understand that this all like extrapolates and then, like you were saying, like you don't want to train fasted and stuff, but you get a shitty night of sleep. 1 hour of sleep sounds better than making breakfast. So like again, it just all kind of compounds and I guess it's just the little habits you have to start with and not necessarily asking if BPC 157 is your friend. Like I think just hitting the main pillars of like what you need to get accomplished is better than all that outside stuff that's pretty much pushed in social media right now. But yeah, so I just think hitting on the main stuff is crucial in my opinion, and then maybe venturing out depending on case by case. But
Yeah.
because I'm not saying all that stuff like just avoid. I'm not saying it's like wrong, but it's just I think it's wrong when you eat Cheetos and then have 4 hours of sleep. Like then I think like eating or taking BPC is just not your friend. So just depends.
Yeah. I think there's a hierarchy, whatever it's the freaking pyramid of like the food pyramid, but it's maybe like the health pyramid.
Right.
Obviously, sleep, nutrition, exercise, mental health, those are like the foundation. You need to have those in place before you probably add on compounds like that
Right.
um, to have the basics in place. Now,
Exactly.
something else I think would be interesting to cover is post athletics. How is it for you? Because for me, mentally, it was a little bit challenging not being part of a team. And it's still something that is kind of tough. Now, you coach in person, so you got your squad, but a
Yeah.
lot of people don't have that. Like, how was that transition initially post
Yeah.
athletics to not having
Yeah.
the locker room?
Oh, I'm blessed, dude, because I'm right back into football again. Like the actual love for playing football died for me.
Hmm.
Now, do I miss game day? Of course. But could you pay me to do a Tuesday practice right now? Probably not. Like just really just can't. Like I'm just being real. Like waking up at 5, 6 a.m. You're like, damn, I got to put pads on and just start whacking heads. Like it's grueling, but it's a good grueling.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it really it built a mindset for me, at least built like just how I look at life. So I'm
yeah.
super grateful for it. But the team component I'm very happy with because again, I'm a round football player. So I'm still engulfed in the football realm, but in a way that I feel great about. Like I don't need to wake up and worry about the politics between me and the backup right guard and who's going to take the first team reps for this next practice. Like, and then I find out that he's taking it because I'm the walk on, but he's trash at football. So now I got to deal with, I don't have to deal with any of that. Right. And that's just real stuff behind the scenes that people don't even understand that go on that messes with this. Like, it's just, it's a deep battle sometimes, especially on the walk on side of it. Like, it's just people don't understand the actual
Mhm.
battles of it. Like being a
Yeah.
walk on and
Yeah. Dive into
undersized
that.
as well. It's tough. Like, there's politics in the room, whether you like it or not. Like, when a coach gives out an offer, they are saying, I'm putting money into a stock. This stock better grow. When a guy that walks, when they're given a stock they have nothing about, aka a walk on, why would they want that one to succeed more than the stock they put 30 grand into?
Mm.
Now, 30 grand's arbitrary, meaning 200 grand. Like that's a whole, like paying for school is a lot of money. So it's like that natural dichotomy in their brain shows up into the actual O line room, O line specific because I played O line. But
Mhm.
like you being a walk on, they're trying to find every little thing to pick at. Meaning I'm a center. If I have a snap that's bad, that is going to get enhanced more than a guy that has it offer because they're like, oh, that guy sucks. Yeah, we're trying to find a reason to boot his ass, right? And it's not easy. Like for all my walk, like I know the pain. Like walk-ons is not easy at all. So when I hear a great walk-on story, I'm like, that dude worked his ass off. Not only worked his ass off, but worked his ass off to gain respect. Like for me, I'll always take pride in the fact that obviously after COVID year was weird, but my redshirt freshman year, like me being able to just make the travel roster was insane to me. Like we have 26 guys. I'm one of 11, one of 12 that traveled every game. I'm not tall. I'm not 6'4" where I can earn the respect by just being a unit. Like I had to earn the respect by doing everything correctly. I have to know the playbook better than everyone else. I have to be able to get all my snaps on point, or else they're going to find a reason to do something. And on top of it, I have to execute. And in my opinion, that's harder than just being able to be an offeree who's 6'6". Like, of course you're gonna start eventually, brother. Like they're paying you a million nowadays, they're paying you 500 grand. Why would they not play you? Like that, like as long as you're not trash and you have an offer, the ability for you to play it's just a different percentage. Not saying you're gonna play, but your odds are just more in your favor. Like when I just like walk into Virginia Tech, I'm like, hey guys, I'm in your room now. Like, didn't get an offer. I didn't even know. I never met my O line coach until I got to VT.
Really?
I visited VT from one of the Coach Sparber. He was at the time, I believe, an assistant linebacker coach. He
Mhm.
coached in North Jersey, so he found my film and stuff. But like, I never had a formal meeting with my O line coach until we got there. So I was like, yeah, this is a different dynamic. Like, he didn't recruit me. Like, I have to play hard. Like, and was able to do so. So I'm very thankful and stuff. But yeah, it's just a different, especially the walk on stuff. It's a different thing. You have to be wired a little bit differently.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And I think a huge thing about that too is the respect factor of the team.
Yep.
The coaches, because typically as a walk-on, in my experience, and I think a lot of people's experience, you gain the respect of your team before the coaches.
Yes.
You like that's a huge stepping stone as a walk-on because a lot of guys are like, man, I'm better than this freaking like I remember for me, I thought I didn't travel my first year at all. Second year, I think I only traveled one game. And I knew my second year I was better than some of the guys traveling, but they're
Yeah.
on scholarship. Maybe they're seniors, maybe they're backup seniors, but they're on scholarship. So, but what really helped a lot was gaining the respect of the team. Because when you gain respect, say you're O lineman, as example, or whoever you are, you're playing scout team to start as a walk-on, and you got to earn those scout team reps. And when you get the respect of those starting D linemen because you're blocking your ass off, then you start to grow and grow, and then your O line room starts to see you grow and grow. And I remember the only reason I started really my last couple of years was during camp. I was still slotted to be, it was my fifth year. I was still slotted to be backup. And then we had one of our guys, Gabe, who plays in the CFL now, he got hurt. And then we had another guy who was playing. He was like preseason, I don't know, some award list.
Yeah.
And my buddy Coyote, he went to the coaches. He's like, Klink's got to play at guard. Like he's our best one. And I was back the whole time. And then they put me in, ended up working out. But it was like again, thanks to the teammates. The
Yeah.
coaches ideally, and I was
Right.
scholarship by that time, but the coaches typically, want the big, intimidating, quality prospects playing. So
Yeah.
I think earning the respect of your teammates is so underrated, man.
Yeah. It's nuts. And yeah, it's just weird. Like you'll have conversations with your coaches and like, there's like facts you can present them. Like, coach, if someone went down, like, I was going in. Like, what are we talking? Like, that was the case. And then the off season comes around, and somehow, some way, some kid just randomly becomes the second string guy. You're just like, what is even like, what are we talking? And then you say that to them, and then they act like that's like new news. They're like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember at Boise, um, what game was it? It was against UCF. It was one of our first games in the season. And I'm in the backup center role, and I remember our guard Ben Dooley goes down, and Coach Keene comes up to me immediately. He goes, like, Booge, if Ben cannot play right now, like, you're in, like, get some snaps in, let's go. Because I forget what I think they were gonna put one of our guys Garrett at guard, and
Mhm.
Coach Keene was like, dude, if he can't, because he got hurt, he's like, he can't play, like, you're in. So like we're in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting ready, like, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
out there.
Hell yeah.
So like that's that. Like, so just to give like a rundown of the season, right? I was trusted in terms of the playbook. Like, we're ready to go, and then like the off season comes, and like you say these things, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna be like third string to start off. Like, we want to see other guys get reps." Just like, what? Like, you just look at these guys like, I'm like, you're nuts. Like, what are you talking about? Do you not remember week 2 against UCF? Like, at all? Like, no one else would have been able to fill that role. There's
Mhm.
not one other person, maybe like a handful of guys, maybe like a couple could have like executed the position. But you bring this up and they're just like, yeah, it's almost like it never happened. I'm like, coach, like, you remember, like, you told, like, anyway, but yeah, it's a tough dynamic, I guess you could say. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
stuff like that, it's curated. I believe that happened for a reason. And I feel like that curated who I am as a person. Um, and I think that's just one of the stepping stones that brought me into just being a coach. And I'm not saying that to like badmouth any coach or any person. Like, that's just the nature of what happened. That's just, those are all facts that are presented. So I'm not like badmouthing people, but I just understand what it's like to just not be like looked at in the lens that you want to be. So yeah, just I feel for my guys.
Yeah, man. And the last thing on this too, from the only reason I've seen it from the coaching perspective too, being in the because
Yeah.
I was a position coach for a year
Right.
at Wagner, and I remember like sometimes our head coach would just somebody wants to play this, and they're just like, nope, he's playing. Like sometimes the
Yeah.
head coach, people don't realize that behind the scenes, or players don't realize it. They're pissed at their position coach, but it's like the head
It's head
coach might
coach.
have just said veto. Nope, this guy's like
Exactly.
this is what's happening. So there's a lot of nuance, politics, like you mentioned, behind it.
Uh,
Um, Something else that you got me thinking from Boise State and that O-line play, maybe a lot of people don't talk about. What makes for you an elite running back? Because there's so many guys who have sick combine numbers, great 40s, great verts,
Yep.
but we both played with elite running backs. And there's something about a guy who can just read the blocks, set up the blocks. So
Yep.
like what stands out to you as an O-line coach with elite running backs?
Yeah. So Coach Rudolph told me this and it made sense. He goes, if a guy has three opportunities in the open field, if he can make that one guy miss twice, he's an elite running back, meaning one out of three times you get tackled, that's an elite running back. If out of the three attempts you're in the open field, you get tackled twice, you're good. Meaning you can shake him off one time. If you get anywhere outside of that 1 to 3, you are very, very good at the running back position, meaning you only get tackled 1 out of 4 times. I've
Yeah,
played
you're
with
batting
Kyle
750.
Monungai. Yeah, I've played
Yeah.
with Kyle Monungai. I've played with Ashton Genty,
Hmm.
two of the premier running backs in the NFL right now. When I was in high school with Kyle, like if Kyle's in the open field, I just keep running because I'm like, oh, he's not getting tackled by the first guy. Like there was a 0% chance, maybe 1% chance if he slipped or whatever the case was, but you literally have a 0% chance of tackling him one on one. That's number one. I think but in the physicality realm, I think it's contact balance. Like I think you're able to hit someone and you're just the ability to bounce off and keep your feet churning is I think number one. Because I'm not gonna lie, like having a great O line facilitates you being a good running back. You saw with Ashton this year, like just not the best O line play for the Raiders. Like you just can't really allow Ashton to be himself when that stuff kind of happens.
Hmm.
So I think they're reliant on having a good O line. You look at Kyle. The Bears had arguably the best O line this year. They did just what it was. Not taking away anything from Kyle, but like that helps a lot. Like you being able to make a guy miss at 4 yards or having to make a guy miss at -1, it's just a different football game, right? So, but I would say number one is just the ability to hit someone, and you know that whoever's hitting him on the defensive side is not bringing him down immediately,
Hmm.
right? Because that also wears on a defense. Like Kyle putting his head down in the middle of the field, and that guy like you just hear a crack and that he's still not down, it just demoralizes the defense because you're just like, dang, I don't want to tackle this dude. Um, like like it
Yeah.
might like Swifty running backs, like it's just taught like you need to have that contact balance, like a Barry Sanders. Like, yeah, he was Swifty. That guy's quick on his feet, but like again, someone hit him. It's just like, is he getting tackled? Like it's still a question. So I think number one is contact balance for sure. Just being able to hit someone and be all right, you're not getting tackled.
Yeah, I think that's a massive thing. And another thing I love watching, and I'm not a running back expert, but just from being a lineman, is how running backs set up the O line because
Yes.
it's a give and a take, right? And it's so important to have a good O line to then, yes, have longer runs without contact and then breaking tackles. But knowing how, linebackers and D line and safeties play runs and then how to kind of, slow down a little bit to set up your combos. It's
Yeah.
so fun to watch. Like that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things. And we used to watch film with
Yeah.
our running backs and
It's
our
art
best one.
for sure.
It is. It's like the Le'Veon Bell factor. Some of those
Yeah.
guys, that patient runners
Yeah.
who just don't blow their load. Sometimes guys get the ball and just sprint, and it's like sometimes
Yeah.
your blockers don't get to the landing marks right away. So those patient runs and then acceleration, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to cover, are you watch the UFC a little bit, no?
Oh my God. I'm
What
a
do you,
massive MMA fan. Yeah.
how
Massive.
we I feel like we should talk about this UFC White House card a little bit.
Please.
I'm interested. I've been watching more. I don't always watch the UFC. Um,
Please.
but I think I'd like to break down this card a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about some picks here. Um, where to start? I mean, because you do jiu-jitsu, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
you're familiar with the MMA game.
I got
The
my blue
card's
belt
not.
right here.
Yeah, you got the blue. Oh yeah, let's go, dude.
Shout out to Sean Yadamarco. He gave me that last October. Yeah. October
What's your
7th.
what's your favorite submission?
Submission of just in general. Ooh.
You got to put somebody. You got to
Um,
submit somebody.
Probably outside heel hook.
Oh,
Yeah. I like leg. Like it's fun for me to do legs. Like it's just because for bigger dudes, it's not like as common. Like it's more of like a small guy game. Like typically, obviously, big guys can do leg locks, but probably that. I mean, armbar maybe. I don't know. I don't a favorite. It's tough. Rear naked choke is also fun.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a
Just
pretty.
demoralizing someone, but the leg stuff is fun because it's super intricate. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would probably say outside heel hook. Probably is.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm not a big leg lock guy. That was a normie question. I'm more of a head and arm, just head and arm choke basic.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But all right, so I'm looking at the card right now. There's some interesting fights here. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Um, because we've got man, we've got some guys on here. We can buzz through a few of the bottom ones.
Yep.
Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. I
Diego Lopez is going to take his head off, by the
I was
way.
gonna say that, right? Isn't Diego
Gonna
Lopez a
get
dog?
Diego Lopez, yeah, he's a dog. The one thing about him though, Diego, again, I'm not a MMA coach slash breakdowner, so I don't want
It's okay.
anyone to come at me.
We're
But
doing this for fun here.
yeah, right. So when I watch Diego fight, he's throwing hard, but I feel like he carries his chin a little too high sometimes. It's just
Mhm.
like if I'm his coach, I'm just like, like when he gets in exchanges, like I don't know if he's gonna get his chin touched, but
Mhm.
I think Diego Lopez takes this for sure.
Yeah, me too. He's a dog. What about Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins?
Um, ooh, um.
What are your thoughts on that?
So Bo Nickel to me, like again, relative to the UFC, I don't think he's developed. Like I like
Yeah.
he obviously came in super super high level wrestler, but again, it just doesn't like you see him get wobbled a little bit, you see him get touched a little bit. Like his clinch work is okay. Obviously, if he takes a fight to the ground, it's a little bit different story, but I do think he takes this fight though. I think he's gonna have a revenge fight here. But I would love I just really want to see him progress. Like I think he has a big upside, so I'm gonna take Bo for this one.
Yeah, I think Bo's gonna win. I don't know. I've seen Dawkins fight a few times before, but I just again, if somebody can stuff Bo's takedowns, I feel like his stand-up's not advanced yet
Yeah,
to the high level.
yeah,
Um, Speaking of good stand-up, we got Roofy here, who's a dog. Chandler hasn't fought in a minute. I
yeah.
think I've got
Rufi's
Roofy on
winning.
this one. Yeah.
Michael Chandler is the most I've been saying this for a while. He probably is a fantastic guy. Would love to meet him. But with that being said, he is one of the most overrated people ever in the UFC. I really don't understand how he keeps a name. It's very impressive. I feel like he loses every fight.
If he was better in Bellator, man. I think
Dude,
that's
it's nuts to me how he's ever kept the name. Like just from market again, he markets himself great. Probably
yeah,
a
that's
fantastic guy. I don't want to fight him, but
yeah,
what
neither do
I'm saying is like I just it's really impressive. I'll do a grappling match with him, so I'll call him out right now.
there.
But but
I'd watch that. Let's go.
but like yeah, I don't see him winning this.
Yeah.
I want the US to bring it home, but like I just don't see it.
Yeah. He just who he doesn't use is really his wrestling too much, and he's not bad on the ground.
Yeah.
It's but he just doesn't use it often and just tries to go
I still
strike for strike with guys.
so D1 wrestler again, like don't understand how you're losing all these matches like this. Like
Because he's only throwing hands.
yeah, it's
Besides
crazy. But
Oliveira, but like he's only throwing hands. It's like
yeah,
fuck, dude.
it's just it's annoying.
Speaking of wrestler and football player, Josh Hokett, dude. Versus
Yeah.
Derek Lewis, also football player. I
So
got Hokett in this one, dude. Hokett's
yeah,
electric.
it's tough. The problem with this though, if Lewis touches your chin, it's pretty done. Um,
That's true.
that's why he's got that one punch power.
Yeah.
Hokett again, my football guy. I got Hokett.
Dude, Hokett, I didn't realize he was a dog at Fresno State. Has like 17 tuds, played a little running back, played a little
Yeah,
H back,
dog,
All-American wrestler at Fresno State. It's like, dude, this guy's
dog, bro.
I think he could fight. And he wrestled Bo Nickel in college. Like he weighs maybe 225, 230 heavyweight. He could easily, we put him on the nutrition program, easily fight at lightweight, light heavyweight, or middleweight. Like this guy,
Yo,
he's not
Josh,
even in
yo, bro, tap in, Josh.
he's got people out there, but like he could easily fight at 205.
Yeah,
So it's interesting because if he
yeah,
wins, he might fight for the belt. So
yeah,
either way, I
yeah,
think I got Hokett maybe second, third round. I think he
yeah.
wins.
I
He
agree.
probably gets rocked, but the other thing is he fought Curtis Blades like 2 months ago. So speaking
Yes.
of concussions and chins, he's going to be a little more chinny. than he
Yeah.
probably has been in the past. So for him, I think the recipe, I would say grapple first round, and then maybe open up on the
Yeah.
feet in second, third. But
Yeah, I would say use the legs early. Try to tear down Derek just a little bit, and then
hmm
find that right opening, take him down, some ground and pound. I would just
yeah,
say wearing out Derek is probably the play.
yeah,
I don't want to get into exchanges with Derek. I would say just fight on the outside, low kicks,
yep,
couple takedown feints, just tire him out a little bit, and then start to hopefully get some ground and pound in, and then even if the fight gets up again, just outside, 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 and then find a hole.
yeah, yeah. He's got to have his hands up a little more than Blade's fight because
Yeah,
he took some shots in that one.
for
And
sure.
Lewis, my balls is hot. I mean,
Yeah,
he's got some freaking he's about that dude. He's
yeah.
I
Maybe
remember
his
watching that.
thyroid's bumping, bro. If his balls are hot, you know what I'm saying?
It's a good sign. It's a good sign. You don't want them too hot, so it's good you took the shorts off. You need them 2 degrees cooler than your body temp. I think people don't realize that.
Need some
Um,
ice.
ice them. Okay, we got bantamweight O'Malley versus Zahabi here. This
So,
guy's out of Canada. Who you got here?
so I'm in Zahabi. So Tim Welch, Sean O'Malley's coach, had a
Yeah, I
pretty
like Tim
good
Welch.
breakdown. He's awesome.
Yeah,
He was just saying how Zahabi's just not fast at all. Like he just doesn't really like. There's not many areas where they watch the fight and go, Sean's probably gonna lose. But like he was also mentioning, like he said that about the first Cheeto fight, something happens, and Sean's nerve kind of shuts off, he loses. So anything could happen. Obviously, it's MMA. But the one thing that's kind of scary about the Zahabi guys, like Faraz, his coach, Faraz Zahabi, who is a
GSP.
dog, yeah, like they know some shit. Like, like they're like those guys are just like lab rats. So again, like I see Sean pulling this out. I think Sean's just going to use his athleticism. He's again fighting on the outside, just kind of just hopefully poking away at him, just kind of being annoying like a pest, keeping distance, keeping the length. I think Sean pulls this out. I can see Sabi's winning this though for sure. Like he's one of those up and comers. He's a little bit older, but like again, I don't know. I think Sean pulls it out.
Yeah, I feel like Zahabi's got to make it sloppy to get the
Yeah,
to get the win, right? I think
yeah,
Sean dominates more from being on the outside and
yeah,
not getting backed up to the cage, being more in the center. But
yeah.
I'm rooting for O'Malley. I mean, been watching
Sad
him
to
for a long
see. Yeah,
time. Yeah, hopefully he does well. It's
yeah,
a young dude who's growing old in the sport now.
for sure.
We've got heavyweight interim title bout because
Yep.
Aspinall, like Bisping, has got eye issues
Yeah.
supposedly. So then we got Pereira versus Gane. Who you got here?
Um, it's tough. My gut says Shama. Um, just because that guy's got some power in his hands. It's just Cyril Gane for a heavyweight is crafty. Like the guy has leg locks. The guy can grapple. He can strike really well.
Really?
Yeah, like he's got like I think he's got two leg lock wins in the UFC. I don't think people
The
realize that.
fuck?
It's crazy. Yeah, like when you watch his highlight tape, I think he's an outside heel hook win. I think he has two outside heel hook wins. I could be wrong though.
That's
But
your
yeah,
guy.
he's crafty for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but my heart goes Shama. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want Shama to win.
Shama. Shama
Yeah.
D's. That's
You
what
know,
he's that's what Hogan's
you
been
know, I
saying.
I'm not a big
Sham.
fan of French people, so
Yeah, sure. Shout
shout
out
out
Will.
Will. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying that to piss him off, but yeah,
Will's
no, go
Unk right
Shama.
here. Yeah.
Go Shama.
I think Alex, man, that chef, that left hook, there's something
Different.
about it where he just buzzes guys, man. Like, and watching that Roundtree fight when he just like some of these fights look like murders. And
Yeah.
I think Gon's probably got a chin. So as long as Pereira can stay up, I think he's got a good shot. But Pereira also gets tagged. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
He gets hit. So
Yeah.
I think this is probably gonna be fight of the night.
I think if Cyril Gahn can chain his strikes with some wear and tear in the grappling world, because I don't think again people think Alex Pereira is just a dud when it comes to grappling. I don't necessarily believe that. Like I think he has fairly good takedown defense, but I think if Cyril Gahn's able to hold him down to some capacity, I think the fight's just over. Like I
Mm,
don't think Alex did a fantastic job getting to his feet. Like you said, he gets tagged sometimes. But also too, Cyril Gahn, like I don't like watching him fight. He's fairly boring. Like I don't know. Like in my opinion, maybe it's just because he's French, you know.
could be.
So who knows?
Could be. Yeah, I mean he was kind of piecing up Aspinall a little bit before the
Yeah,
eye pokes. He took some he learned from John Jones a little bit.
for sure.
So um okay, we got the title fight for the lightweights. Gaethje versus Taporia.
I think there's a 0% chance Justin Gaethje wins this fight.
Really?
Like precisely zero.
Really?
And I know it's MMA, and I don't mean to be an Ilia Topuria glazer.
Well, you are.
I am. But here's the thing.
That Spanish blood's coming out of you.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's Ilia Topuria is going to send him to the shadow realm. Like I really because you have to think about it. He fights Holloway. He fights Oliver. Like he fights all these high level guys and just puts them down. And it's
Yeah.
not like you watch a fight like his one of his older fights when he got it was against something Herbert, I believe.
Oh, Jai Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah, when he clipped him with that head kick and like to be able to come back from that and win, like that's the only time where he's been like wobbled or like this guy just walks forward. His boxing's elite. Justin Gage's not going to grapple with him, so the grappling's out of it. If anything, Ilya wins in that department. This is going to be a stand-up fight. Um, do I think Ilya could take him down and ground and pound for sure? I just don't think his ego is going to allow him to do that. I think he's going to want to take him out on the feet. Like what he did to Max Holloway is kind of scary. Being that Max Holloway absolutely put Justin Gaethje just down, like that guy was asleep for about 3 days. Um, I really do think Ilya Topuria is just going to control the center. He's going to press forward. He's going to find his range and then just unleash. I wouldn't say 0% because Justin Gaethje hits hard.
Dude,
Anything
that's the
could
thing,
happen,
man.
but
That's the
Ilya's got a
thing.
chin.
He does, but what about the only thing I'm thinking where I think he's this could be real interesting is if Justin fucks up Ilya's leg, front left leg, because he's got the wide boxing stance. And if he messes it up, Ilya rarely switches stances. So if he messes up his leg, and Justin, he's gotten knocked out, but he also has a chin. Like he hasn't, and he takes long breaks between fights, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
So
But the
I just
best way
think
to negate a kick is with a punch. And I don't
absolutely, absolutely,
so I don't
he's got to
he
follow him up.
again some low calf kicks are probably the way to go for Justin, keep it on the outside, but like brother, I also think there's an aura component. Meaning like when guys are like they have this much confidence in themselves and rightfully so, I think it adds an extra element of like I need to be careful. And even if it's just 1%, I think it's going to be tough for Justin to just overcome that. Like like Justin's human. Like again, he's going to be in press conferences saying, "Oh, I'm not worried." Like brother, he put down the guy that absolutely put you down. So again, I think it's going to play a little bit of a role, but
When does that aura, and this could be for any athlete too, when does that aura become cockiness? You know, because that hit McGregor.
yeah.
McGregor had the aura of all aura. Like he was max aura. And then eventually you kind of go over the peak and it goes down. So how do you, I don't think Ilya's there yet. And I hope not, because I like seeing top level athletes, but how do you balance that confidence with
I think the Conor
cockiness?
McGregor one is a little bit different because Conor lost. He loses. Like it's not like Ilya doesn't lose. That's the problem. Like, and when Ilya wins, it's so dominant. Like it's like Conor McGregor, I think is for where he will never be in a top five, top 10 conversation in all time UFC. In terms of just objective fighting abilities, I don't think you can put him ever top seven. That just won't happen. Like, in my opinion. Like, again, I think he brought a ton of eyes to the sport. I don't necessarily think he was ever the best. Like, anytime a fight goes past 2 rounds, he loses.
Well,
Khabib absolutely ragdolled him. So
yeah,
it's
he was
like,
the best in his like little, you know, in that like
right.
2 to 3 year time period.
Dustin Poirier beat him. And it's like, brother, I don't see a world where Dustin Poirier would ever come close to beating Ilia Topuria.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
that's the
it's just
thing about
different for me.
I think the aura, well, I think that plays into like the aura and confidence for him turns into whiskey and cocaine.
Right.
So, you know, if you turn like a lot of these guys too, you fall into the alcohol and drugs and you're a fighter and
Yeah.
it's like that's not going to be,
Right.
you know, I heard he was drunk the week he was fighting Khabib. Like that's probably not a good idea.
Not good. Not good.
Not good.
And Khabib
So,
absolutely ragdolled him. Khabib put him down with a strike. Like
yeah,
no one thought that was coming. Like
yeah.
it's just one of those things where I just think Connor loses, but I think there's something about Ilia Topuria like where he just can't. Like this just it's just on the line. Like Connor coming back and fighting,
That's
it's
pretty
one of
sweet.
the, but he's lost though. Like like he can lose again. you
Dude,
know?
I'm watching.
Right, I'm watching the hell out of it. He sells the shit out of it, and he's a
Yeah,
good. Not saying he's a bad fighter. Also, I'm just saying relative to who, what we're talking about.
good
But like,
sales.
just like Ilya could genuinely go down as the best MMA guy ever. If you,
Yes. Who gives him trouble? We think Arman and Islam are maybe the two guys who give him trouble.
Islam gives him trouble,
You
in
don't
my
think
opinion.
Arman gives him trouble? What? What?
No,
That's
no,
who he's
no.
gonna fight next.
Yeah,
If he
I
beats
don't.
Justin, I think he's got to fight Arman. You don't
Yeah, I
think
don't.
Arman's wrestling's nasty? No?
It is
What do you think
nasty,
happened?
but
What do you think
I
happens?
don't. But I don't think. Do you understand how Ilya's grappling is also
Oh,
insanely
I
nasty?
know he came up as a grappler. I'm just I don't know. Maybe Arman's just on this PR tour where he's just on he's just I've seen him in RAF where he's just ragdolling people. And then
He ragdoll
obviously,
Giorgio Poulis, who does $1,000 take me down with a guy that just woke up in the streets of Bloomfield, New Jersey.
oh
No,
yeah.
Giorgio is high level. I'm not saying he's not, but again, MMA is a sport where again, like if Arman and Ilya wrestled, I think Arman could easily take that. Like it's a different sport. But when you have to chain the striking with the actual takedown, with actually holding someone down, it's a way different sport. People
Mm,
understand like the grappling in MMA is just way different. When you do a grappling match, a lot of times, like especially in jujitsu, this is what people don't understand about like jujitsu. The fight starts once you hit the floor in jujitsu. Meaning like when we go to the ground, I can fight from there. I can fight off my back.
hmm
But when a jiu-jitsu guy has to take someone down in MMA, that guy, the bottom guy's objective now is to stand up. It's not
hmm
necessarily to stay there anymore and sweep you from guard. It's a different sport. Like people don't understand you have to hold someone down and be effective while holding someone down. It's a way different sport. And I think what gaps gaps the like bridges the gap between stand up and holding someone down a lot of times in MMA you see with the high level guys is a lot of judo stuff, like clinching stuff, a lot of foot sweeps. Like Islam's a master at it.
Yeah.
Islam will clinch the shit out of you and then foot sweep the shit out of you, and then when he's down on the ground, that's when he like leg laces and stuff. Like, he'll hold you down via wrestling, and like you see Marab do it.
hmm
Marab's picking up a single leg and trying to tap your backside foot to just get you on the ground in the first place. And I think like Bo Nickel, that's why like it doesn't necessarily translate one to one a lot of times because it's you can't be in this low stance tapping the floor going for a low single. Like it's just a different sport. um
hmm
so for in terms of the grappling side, like yeah, Arman's elite. I'm not saying he's not, but Ilya is also elite, and Ilya in the striking department is absolutely would pick apart Arman. Like if they did a boxing match, it would be so one sided. If they did a
Sure.
striking match, it would be so one sided. So yes, Arman is he could be a better grappler in general, but I just don't think it's enough to just negate everything that Ilya is going to do to him.
Yeah. That makes sense. You got me thinking. I feel like MMA, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I mean, wrestling's already kind of a core, I guess, extra sport outside of football for football players to use. Do you feel like jiu-jitsu or other, I guess, martial arts could be helpful for football players in the offseason, aside from the skill
100%.
work?
100%. I think it helps, but not in necessarily the ways that people think. Like people think if they just do jujitsu, somehow they like it's like a leverage thing. And it could be, like that's definitely a thing. But it's just I think it's the ability to just control another human body's resistance, like in general, whether that's grip strength, whether that's reactive grip strength. I think there's areas that people forget about. Like, yes, leverage plays a huge part in it. I'm not saying it doesn't, but like just the years of you holding onto a human being trying to resist you is just a different strength. Like people think like it's just different. Like you even look at some of the strongest guys in weight rooms. Like a lot of them come from the country. They've been throwing hay barrels with their family their whole life. It's a different type of strength that like it's hard to replicate. Like when you grab onto like especially like a judoka who's like really good at judo, like they've just been throwing humans their whole life. Right? They're the way they feel when you grab onto them is just a different feel. Like the power is way different. So I think that's the main thing. Like if you do a grappling sport, it's the grip strength that really helps out. Like you grab onto a D lineman, it's just a different feel. Like you
Mm,
can, it's a different kind of resistance. It's not bench pressing anymore. Like not only are you have to hold and absorb, but he's trying to resist. And I think that closely relates with wrestling, jujitsu, judo, all that stuff. I think that's what people miss. I think people think that like the second you just do wrestling, your leverage just like automatically becomes like god tier. And I think that's just like just something people just say, in my opinion. But yeah, I would say overall grip strength is number one. and just learning how to like weight distribution.
Yeah, balance.
Like
Yeah.
exactly, because he's resisting against you, you're resisting him, and then within that exchange, there's a lot of movement. You can use that to sweep someone. You can use that to foot sweep someone. Like change levels. Like I think it's also about like just weight distribution and how to control it in general.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge aspect. And I think sometimes people think just speaking of grip strength, sometimes athletes just think, oh, I'm gonna train my grip doing some wrist curls. And I think a lot better way to do that would be actively through a sport like jiu-jitsu or even carries or I don't know. It's one of those topics that I talk a lot about with athletes, but I feel like the more, again, like you do with drills, similar with a lineman is doing an O-line drill and something live rather than stationary or something
Yeah.
that's not applicable, doing something like a carry would be more applicable than maybe doing like a wrist curl or stuff like that, which
100%.
got me thinking. So
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting, man.
100%.
Well,
100%.
anything else going on before we head off? Any fun plans this weekend?
This weekend. No, just watching the UFC card really on Sunday and then work. How about you?
Heck yeah. Yeah, I think I got making some new plans for clients, doing
Nice.
some check-ins. You gotta hit a hike, I think. I gotta get
There
some
you
new
go.
hiking boots too. Mine are
There you go.
worn down. I got wore mine down on my last hike, so I need to get some new ones so they don't
There you
break.
go.
And you
Hell
get some
yeah,
bear
dude.
spray so I don't
Ooh.
get, you know, you gotta stay
I
safe
got
out
you. I
here.
got you over a bear though, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Well, if you see me on Monday, hopefully I'll be
With just
out.
like one like claw mark on your face.
Dude, there's some weird paranormal activity out here too, man.
Oh
Like they got
hell.
these things called like skinwalkers and
Yeah,
um
wait, what is that again?
dude, so I've just been I made a mistake a few nights ago where I'm like on YouTube at like midnight and I'm just
Oh, I
watching like
heard
these
about
Native American videos of these Lakota tribe talking about these things and they're like these little coyotes or whatever. They sound like humans. So like, hey, hey. And they but then they transform into human form, kill you, I guess. I don't know. It's sketched me out because when I lived in Oregon, a big thing was Bigfoot. Bigfoot was, and I believe in Bigfoot. I'm a believer. So because I felt like I was watching the forest before. Like it was just some weird stuff. So then out here, man, I'm in a cabin in the forest. I'm looking around. I hear these noises at night. I'm like, I gotta walk to there's an outhouse, go to the bathroom. I'm like, man, I'm about to get freaking killed out here.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know about that one, brother. I'd probably leave pretty quick.
Well, that's why. Well, yeah, that's why I'm trying not to hike at night because they got mountain lions, bears.
Oh hell, yeah, no,
You
you
don't
got it.
realize. I got walked up today. I was taking a walk before this pod, and I turn around. There's a dog right near me because there's a bunch of loose dogs around here that don't have any collars. They're just chilling. So yeah, I don't. A lot of wildlife. A little different
That's
than
fun though.
it is fun. It's a blast. So hit some hikes, but that's about it, man. So
There you go,
appreciate you hopping on. This has been fun.
dude. This is fun. Time
Heck yeah,
flew,
man.
dude.
It did. Yeah,
We gotta
we'll run
hop on
another one.
again.
Yeah, we will.
100%.
We will. So everyone check out Bouge on Instagram. What's your IG? Nikolai Bujnowski Alfonso?
Nikolai Buj
Nikolai Bouge.
is the handle.
That's the
Yeah,
handle. Check him out on IG. You're on Twitter too, right?
a little bit. Nikolai Buj 3
Dabble.
on Twitter, but like it's more for me to just attack coaches and their
Oh yeah?
the drills and stuff. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but
Copy that. Above
yeah,
all O-line. Started out
yes, sir.
clothing apparel in eighth grade. Now it's freaking going worldwide O-line training, D-line training
Yeah,
too.
man.
So let's freaking go,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yeah, trying, man. I appreciate it.
Of course. All right, brother. I'll stop recording.
Awesome.
Have a great weekend.
You too, brother.